Greetings, Leo and Leo rising. This is your Western forecast for September 2024. There are several themes I'll be unfolding, but the main one is the new moon in Virgo on October the 2nd. And this new moon will be influencing everybody for the entire month. Now, the sun is in Virgo every year, the first 3 weeks of September. And where the sun is shining is where your attention and priorities are more drawn to. But on September the 2nd, with the new moon in Virgo, this is now when you are setting your intention. Now, Virgo is the second sign past Leo. The second sector is about money, income, your possessions. This new moon in Virgo for the whole world, and Virgo is very sensible, practical, work-oriented energies. It's also health conscious, more self-improvement. Those are the qualities of Virgo. But it's opposite Saturn. Opposite can mean other people, external situations, and that Saturn can really awaken some obstacles, some limitations that you have to really persevere and work on to overcome. This can bring about with resilience and perseverance. There could be a lot of personal growth. But where is this impacting Leo in Leo rising? Your second house of income. But with the Saturn, you might be realizing you need more money. You feel limited. You feel blocked. Or maybe that Saturn, outside circumstances, could be your boss or clients that is restricting and holding you back. Now, 2 weeks after a new moon is a full moon. Full moons will bring to light what was set in motion on the new moon. For you, dealing with money matters, and opposite Saturn, taking this all really seriously and persevering. But this new moon, this full moon, September the 17th, is a full moon on steroids because it's a lunar eclipse. All lunar eclipses are full moons. And 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse will be a new moon solar eclipse on October the 2nd. So this September into October is another eclipse season. We basically have them twice a year, where there's a lot of adjustments, endings, new beginnings, really shaking things up, depending on how it's impacting your horoscope. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse is opposite the second house of income, of the new moon, because the full moon is opposite. And opposite the second house of income is the 8th house. Now, the 8th house can represent, joint ventures, financial contracts. In the positive, there might be a big job offer, a business financial contract that comes to you that could be all part of this big shift going on financially. But we have to also keep in mind that lunar eclipses can often test relationships or agreements and be this letting go. And the 8th house, it's about banking and finance and backers, but it's an inheritance. That's all that 8th house. But the 8th house can also be major change, major endings. So one thought could be that some of you might be realizing that you are too limited and stuck at your personal business or in your job. And then by the full moon lunar eclipse, you're realizing you got to make a change. You got to let go. But there's some positive energies here. But before I go into the rest of what's happening in September, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find a direct link to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer. Now, the first 3 weeks of every September, the sun is in Virgo. So where the sun is shining is what grabs your attention, your priorities the most. The sun will leave Virgo and your second house of income on September the 22nd as it goes into Libra. And Libra is 3 signs past Leo. But before I get to that, even though the sun, which is really spotlighting financial matters for you the first 3 weeks, the new moon, especially because of Saturn, is bringing a lot of responsibilities for money matters until the next new moon, which is October the 2nd. So on September the 22nd, even though the sun is changing signs and going from the 2nd of income to the 3rd of learning and selling and interviewing, that the main theme is still your income. Now, when the sun goes into the 3rd is the sector of communications, learning, writing, selling yourself at a job interview. Now, Venus is that planet of desire, pleasures, enjoyment, romance, creativity. Venus is in Libra the first 3 weeks till September the 22nd, as the sun is in Virgo until September the 22nd. Venus is particularly strong, being able to want to give its best results when it's in Libra, because Libra is ruled by Venus. So when Venus goes into Libra, it's at home. It's most comfortable. It can give its best outcomes. So Venus in Libra is in the first 3 weeks, is in your 3rd house of classes and learning, short distance, weekend traveling. But this main thrust is on how to make more money. Then that Venus, that planet of desire and enjoyment, going into the 3rd, you may be really desiring to go on job interviews, and with the Venus, you're comfortable with it, and more than likely you're going to get more of a positive reception. You could actually get a better paying job because that Venus, you're trying to sell yourself, or if you're just trying to come up with other things to sell, products, to make more money. Now, the sun will leave Virgo on the 22nd as Venus leaves Libra. But the Venus on the 22nd is going into the 4th house for several weeks. And that could be where you're more comfortable and enjoying yourself more with home, family, real estate, with Venus entertaining at home, entertaining with family, beautifying the home, repainting the walls. That's all that Venus going into your 4th house of home and family, September the 22nd. But the Venus was in the 3rd, the first 3 weeks, and then the sun, on the day that Venus leaves the third, the sun leaves Virgo and moves into Libra into the third. So from September 22nd till about October the 21st for 4 weeks, now the sun is putting a major spotlight on the third. When I see this major emphasis on the third, but the dominant driving force is Virgo new moon in the second of income, then you could be selling more to make more money. That's the third. You could be taking classes to so you can make more money. So, more professional classes. You could be like selling yourself, selling products, learning new job skills. That's that whole emphasis with how to increase your income through all that third house. Basically, for most of you, this would be getting new job skills, going back to school, getting more training. Now, along with that, Mars, ambitious, assertive Mars, is a 2-year cycle. And Mars is going into Cancer September the 4th through November the 3rd. So Mars is there for 2 months, and which is a long time. This Mars in Cancer is the sign prior to Leo. So it's called the 12th house. So Mars is going through the 12th house, which is the shadow sector for Leo. In the positive, this is a lot of ambition and drive to work behind the scenes. And with all that third house, that could be learning, getting more studies, more accreditation, to make more money. Then that full moon lunar eclipse, which can have a lot to do with letting go and separations in the 8th house. I really think for a lot of you, this is a big job change. But with Mars in Cancer, September through October, there's all that work, Mars, all that ambitious drive, Mars, is behind the scenes. Ideally, that could be studying or researching and developing new projects and new goals. There's a lot of learning because that sun will then take over after Venus in the 3rd house of learning and classes until October around the 21st. So so the Mars is still in Cancer until November the 3rd. But mostly this whole time, September, October, through the first 3 weeks of October, that Mars is in the 12th house of working behind the scenes, the Venus and the Sun is in the 3rd house of learning. So I really think this is you being very ambitious and assertive towards learning new job skills or learning how to set up a new business to make more monies. Venus in the 3rd. Venus is pleasurable, and the 3rd can be siblings or close next door neighbors. That with Venus, you might be meeting new neighbors or really enjoying hanging out with one of your siblings. But the 3rd is also traveling, but it's more weekend travels, domestic travel, or the opposite, which is the 9th house, is more international travel. Venus is very pleasurable. So having this pleasurable, enjoyable Venus in the 3rd house, there could be a desire maybe to just get away for the weekend or leave on Saturday and come back on Sunday, but really enjoying yourself. And who knows, maybe you'll grab a sibling with you with that Venus in the third. You certainly couldn't really be really enjoying yourself. And then comes September the 22nd, the Venus, pleasurable Venus, moves into the fourth, which I've already mentioned, for several weeks. So now it's more on really enjoying your home, your family. That could be entertaining. There could be a family reunion. This could be ideal for beautifying the home, buying new furniture, new pieces of art with Venus in the fourth. But in summary, the big focus is how to increase your income through new learning that you're doing, having to study and research behind the scenes September and October. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.go, that's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.